Reach high, aim high, and obtain.
Right here.
You gonna, yeah.
See that right there?
So I bought this cake thing on Amazon. The first one I bought I didn't like so much because apparently the description did not match the original item purchased. But this thing has just been awesome. It just snaps on like a professional cape. And I can just I can just drape it around Dad and be good to go.
I just combed my hair so it'd be nice and pretty for her to cut. Does it show?
Okay.
I just spiffed it up.
Okay. So I bought this clipper a while back. It's a Miniker? I hope I pronounced that right. And what I've learned when it comes to his hair really quick is I actually start with the biggest blade here and go all the way around. And I've learned if I downgrade it in size with these a little bit at a time and come down, I get that really professional look like you see when you go to the salon and the men do their thing. And I think ours is to date. I mean, this thing I've had for almost a year.
Well, maybe
but I only
charged now.
Yeah.
Go.
So the ceramic blade wasn't in place, and that's how come it wasn't turning out. See, now it's working. So,
Okay,
but
here
you
we
can
go.
actually
I'm
rotate
holding my
this
head up.
to get your different blades. But I found I like it at the top and then just downgrading the number, and it has everything numbered, so you know how many millimeters that it's doing
Millimeters?
as it cuts. Yeah, it's in millimeters. Let's see here. It just come in and go like this. And this, I found doing this method saves me a ton of time with cutting, and it gets that really professional look. And I just come up to basically the crown doing this, and see it's taking, he's been needing a cut for a few weeks. I mean, look at this, just doing this method. But my dad likes a little bit extra on top just to kind of play with, because we like to kind of play with our hair here.
I didn't know.
Yes, you do. He likes to play with it. But you can see right here, just coming in and just giving it clean up. And it does a really good job with getting that main bulk off of the hair. Just going around, doing this. I snapped the 18 off, and now I'm moving to the next number in this series for this particular unit. And it's now 15 millimeter. Now remember, I went up here, so now I'm going to bring it down just a hair. So I'm not going completely all the way up, but you can see I'm making almost a line here of the hair in regards to the line, because I found this guy who really did a great job at doing this kind of stuff, and I noticed that that's what he did. So you make like a visual line as to how you want the hair to fall when you're doing this. And then I like to move the top around just because he likes it a little bit thicker on top, so he can groom it however he wants. And so I kind of move the hair around. So I'll move from the 15 now to the next number in the series. And the other thing that I love about this particular blade, and now it's going to the 12, is it also comes with a left and a right ear cutter. So it really helps get that nice finish on the sides. So now we're going to the next number. And
What number is this?
This is the 12. So I'm coming down. Now see how it's getting that nice finish that you see in the salon? And you just go over that line, and you just make yourself a visual line that you're coming down to. And I like to get that. I always have to go around the ears kind of manually, because the blades sometimes are just so close to the ear. It's just easier to do it manually with this. Okay, so now I'm going to the next number of the series, which this is a 9. So again, making a visual line. I'm doing about here now. And see how it's getting that really nice progression. See that? See how it's getting that really like thick to a little bit thinner, and then it'll clean up down here so beautifully. So that was a 9. Oop. 6. Okay, so I'm gonna move to a 6. So I'm going a little bit lower now. Okay, so you can see how clean that kind of looks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we'll move down to the 3, which is the last one in the sequence. And for this, I don't go up too high because it is such a short one. So you really want this one to stay kind of short and to the front, because otherwise it'll look kind of funky. But you can see it gives that nice clean line. Now I do just a little bit manually, and it's just to clean up those hairs,
Peach fudge.
that little bit of fuzz that comes down on the guy's neck when he does this. Now I'm doing just a general thing because I'm going to get into this deeper when I actually get everything done and don't have to worry about this kind of being in the way. Now the one thing here is, because of this with the ear, I always have to kind of come in here and just do a little bit of cleanup. But the reason I also bought this specific one, and I bought this specifically for my dad, is because it's actually designed to not cut the skin. There's some out there that they say it's very painful. You can actually feel it cut the skin. And what he likes to, and that he's told me, is to come up here to about this point of the ear. So if I bring this down and come up to the midpoint, see that, and just let that work for me, I get that really nice finish. But I'm gonna clean this up with that special left and right piece that I mentioned. So let me do this side now. Okay, so this is another thing that happens when men get a little bit older, is they start growing hair in unique spots. Or it gets excessively long. So what I like to do is come in here and just clean it up for him, because he's so handsome, and I like him to stay looking handsome that he is, because I love my daddy. And I just come in here, and because of the way these are designed, I don't have to worry about cutting him, because that's one thing that I noticed a lot of the clippers online said is, you know, that this hurt or that hurt. But these, everyone said this was designed to come into the delicate areas and not hurt. Now when it comes to the eyebrows here, this is what I like to do, because you can see how thick these have gotten, is I like to take my comb and kind of brush them up and get in there, and then I just take the clippers along them, see? And that cleans them up really good. So that way he doesn't have to worry about it. And see there? Now they're perfect. Come over here, again, brush it up, grab it. And of course I do it in line with how the eyebrow forms. So if it forms this way, I brush it that way. Relax, dude. I'm not hitting your eye. I've done this enough, you know that. And see there? Look at how clean up that got. It's so much better. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my left and
My ear?
right.
My right ear?
I'm going to grab my left and right cutters, and you can see here that they're angled uniquely, and so the thick part goes on top. So when I snap it like this, that lets me know, and they've also put it here, right. So thick part on top, thin part on bottom, and just basically I come up and go over. Come up and go over. And this allows me, and I lift up that part. But see here how it thins it out so perfectly? Just getting it in there. See that? You just can't beat that clean line. You just can't. Okay, and then this side, because I haven't cleaned up the ear, I'm gonna come in here and just go around the ear again. Come up to that point that he likes on his point there with the ear, and then come around here and clean up the back of the ear, and just gently coming around the ear. But again, I don't have to worry about this hurting him or cutting him because of the way these clippers are designed. And the only thing I really have to do maintenance wise with it, which I love, is basically just keeping it well lubricated with the special clipper oil, which you can get. I got a huge bottle for just like $4, and I just put a few drops on it to maintain it. But you can see here, it's just going to see here, just going around it, cleaning it up, and just gently going around it. And you can see here, I just pulled this down just a little bit and just gently just clean it up. And see there, you get that really nice finish here. See that? It's just really good. Okay, so I've done the left and right side now. So this, at this point, because of where I am, see how much cleanup I've got? Now I go in with the scissors. This is when I get a lot more technical. So let me grab my scissors. Okay, so these are Equinox scissors, and it has this special pivot point in the center that actually tightens or loosens the feel of the scissors. And it's got this nice thing for you to hold your fingers on, because these are professional scissors. And I purposely bought this wooden comb. It's by Grand Naturals, because wood combs or horn combs are really best for the hair to prevent it from staticking, splitting, quite a few other things. But anyways, so I come in here. I don't think I did. Oh, I didn't do this side with my clippers, but I can show you basically. Basically what I do is I come in and I let the hair lift up, and see that? And I just lift it up. And I always like to comb off the top, because again, he likes it a little bit longer, and that way he can get the look that he wants. But see here, just come in, and what you do, and I noticed a lot of people doing this, and so I've kind of used this with that, which is when you come up, see where the lowest point of the hair is, and you want everything to match that. Because when you lift it up, what happens is when it lays down, it's like a layering effect for men's hair, at least, and my dad's, every person's hair. But I always like to cut it when his hair is clean and dry, because I've noticed it lets me see what his hair's doing, so I can really get in there. See here, that's the lowest point, so come up and see how it's starting to lay. It's making a difference with how it lays. And then also, after you do the clippers, you can come in here, and when you do this, you can see the ones that stick up. And so you can just go in and clean it, and it really makes a difference. So let me fix his, be the left side. Let me find that left side. Here we go, left side. I didn't do the left side. So again, thick part on the top, and see here, see how much it just cleaned up for me? Because I used the left side. You see that? I'm done. And see, it gave it that really nice professional finish. And that's just from the clippers. That's not even the scissors. That's just the clippers. And that's pretty much me using every blade on the clippers except the thinning clippers. I don't tend to use thinning clippers because I don't think people really need to be thinning out their hair. We have beautiful hair. I say enjoy it. So, but anyways, I'm moving over the big pieces because I don't want to cut those. And those are mainly the ones that he likes a little bit longer, like I mentioned. But just coming in here and seeing, that's the low point, because remember, I cut those with the clippers. So that's the low point I'm needing to match when I come up like this. And then do that. And see, there's a long one. And so you can see that big difference? You just come in and clean it up. And just letting it kind of work for you. Now, this isn't the most comfortable position to be doing with one's hands. I will acknowledge that. And sometimes my hands do get exhausted doing this, but the results are absolutely worth it. And that's simply because of how I'm using the comb in relationship to what I'm doing, because I found this gives the best finish. You see that? See how everything's starting to kind of lay just right? And it's because I'm doing that. That long piece gets removed. See there? Come in. Okay, so let's go to the other side now. So I'm going to comb this forward because I don't want to, again, grab the big hairs. But see how it's just a little bit thick there? See here? Just come in, cut it. Come in. Oh, see, there's the long hair. And cut it. And see how that's starting to lay just right now? See that? Makes a difference. But again, it's taking the time. But I found that I can do his entire head doing this in about 20 minutes once you get this just right, because the clippers is what cut down my time in doing this, and it made all the difference in the world. See that? And I'm coming up just a little bit because I want to clean up the back in reference to what it's doing. But see how that's laying just right now? It wasn't doing that before. And you can see how thick this is. It's because I haven't gone in there yet. So what we're going to do now is comb this over to the side. And the great part is Dad's gotten so used to doing this now. Me doing this now, he falls asleep, which lets me know he really trusts me doing this. So again, but see the sides, he really likes it cleaned up well. So you can see here, again, come up and you see those long hair. See that? And you can see where it's, the short end is always on the bottom. So again, coming up, cleaning it. Okay, and you can see it's coming together and you're getting that nice finish. Now it does take a little bit of time and patience, but ultimately it ends up being so worth it. You just gotta take that up, and look at how much money I'm saving. I mean, yeah, you have the initial purchase of supplies. I don't deny that. But, I mean, if you think about it, a haircut you have to do, what, every 2 months is what they suggest. And guys usually go in, and the average guy probably spends, what, $5, $10 to get their haircut. And we just found that Dad wasn't getting the cut that he wanted every time he went in. I was like, well, Dad, why don't you let me give it a shot one time? And he's like, okay, well, he's like, it's not like he kept getting a military cut every time he went in. And he was just very unhappy with what he was getting. But I mean, it was a $5 haircut too. Let me think. No, it was a $10 haircut. That's what it was. And I was like, well, you know, it doesn't hurt to let me try. So I've always been very observant about, you know, hair or massage or what people are doing. And I've always asked questions. And so it's helped me to learn how to, now see, look at that. Now the one thing I do see is right here, it's just a little bit sticking out, and he doesn't like that. So what I'm gonna do is just bring this up the hair and just get that last little bit groomed up for him. And see how that's coming together, and then just those few little ones that stick out, because he doesn't like those hairs to kind of stick out and it look funky. So just gently come in and get those few straight hairs. And then I always like to take the comb and just see how it's laying. So see how that's laying just about right? So this right here is still a little bit thick right here. So I'm gonna clean this just a hair, because he really likes it clean on the side. And then just come in. Again, those hairs, you can see them when you comb in. You can see like right there, that one's sticking up now. And you just groom it up. And you can see how it's starting, see how that's laying? Isn't that beautiful? Mom should know. I've done it enough, Mom. Appreciate you doing this. Okay, so see how now, how's that? Isn't that perfect? I mean, knowing what he likes, which is that nice finish. And then right here, I see there's just a couple that didn't come down just right when I did the clippers. But see there, I got that whole side done now, and it's ready to go. So now let's look at this side and make sure that we've got this side and this one. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure this side, because remember I took the clippers to it, but I haven't cleaned it up like I have the other side. So again, just taking in the comb and just looking at those that are sticking up, because he really likes that. Like I said, he likes a really clean side and back, but he likes a looser top. And my mom absolutely loves the long hair on the top too. That's probably an influencer too. All right, okay, so let's see. Okay, so just a few hairs there sticking up. And cleaning that. Okay, now see that? That's why you go back through it just a little bit to get those few remainders. And come around. Okay, let me swing around here, Mom. So I'm gonna swing around and do this side. Now see here, you can see the height difference. Here, right here. You can see the height difference right there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this like this and just trim that just a hair. And see that sticking up? Trim that just a hair. Because the back, I like to go left and right, and I like to repeat it just a little bit, because I've learned that even though the clippers come up, but I'm only coming up this far, there's always that little bit of top thickness that drops down, and so I like to get that really cleaned up for him, so it's not something that's so in the way. So then another thing is now see, I brushed everything. Now see, from here down is perfect. And I can come up here, and then I like to do a quick check by just lifting the hairs up just a little bit here and see if anybody's, oh, there we go. I saw somebody sticking up, see? And just have that one line to see what's sticking up. Okay, now see, from here down, all the way around, I'm perfect. So now we're gonna touch the top. And I always leave the top for last, because again, that's the part he likes to be a little bit thicker. So what we're gonna do is come in, and what I do is I purposely comb this way and then come up and under. And see that? That allows me to get a good grip, and it allows me to see where, see that? See where the hair is falling too, and how it's responding, and which one's longer than what, and see right there? You can see which ones are sticking up. And see this really, see right there? See the height difference? It really allows me to grab it. And I purposely go this way, and then forward and back, because it allows this part to lay perfectly every time I have found. So again, comb opposite of where I'm standing, and then come up and under and see where it's falling. Up and under, see where it's falling. And see there, you can see the ones sticking up and the ones that aren't. Up and under, and you can see some were falling under. They were falling away because they were shorter than the other's hairs on the head. So you want to find where they're hitting, and when you start seeing them come out, that lets you know, okay, these other ones are longer, I need to be trimming it down to match, because these need to be the same height, is what I have found. And I noticed that's what salon, see there? And you want to really do a good grab. Again, oh, now see that? It fell out before, okay, now see here? See how you've got that bulge? You want to clean that up. Okay, let me grab that again. Okay, see that? You get that arch, and that's where the hair is doing this ripple effect, and you want to make sure it matches. See it? Just giving it a good clean line to start with. Okay, you can see everything starting to line up there. So now this side looks pretty good. So now we're going to come to the other side. So if you'll move that way, I brush it toward, I comb it towards me. Okay, and you can see how it's getting this nice layer effect on the top. That's what you're doing when you're doing this. When you're going under and you're grabbing, see that? You can see the height difference. So we're cleaning that. Again, cleaning it, Okay, see that? Just getting rid of that bulge of the wave. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, so now let's do another check. I always like to do it more than once to see how the hair, but see how everything's just kind of laying so perfectly now? And it's because we're doing that. Okay, so this just has a few. Okay, so now we've done side to side, and now we're going to do front and back. I found I like to do the side to side first before I do the front and back, because doing this already shortens these hairs to a certain extent. But we don't want it so long that if he's sweating or he puts his hands through it, it's going to be in his eyes, because he does like that to be a little shorter. So what I like to do is kind of come under here and see that? You can see the height difference. And just come in and clean that, because he does like a specific length to the hair so that while he's working outside, it's not so in the way. Now once I do this front part, I will also do again the side to side, because this also impacts this. But again, I like to do this part after I do the side to side, because again, it will change the depth and the length of the hairs that you're working with. And see here, see that? You can see that bulge there. Okay, now I'll also come back a little bit further, because if you have an instance where a guy wants to comb the whole hair, all the hairs on his head back, if you don't do this back motion to give them that option, it won't lay right, I found. So I'm also doing the comb back. See this? See that height difference? We're going to clean that up. And I've noticed that this really helps his hair specifically lay so beautifully. And it really gives it that nice clean look. See that? And then there we got that thick point. And I usually like to do this with a little bit of music, so I have some entertainment for me. Okay. Make sure I'm good here. Okay, you can see how it's changing right here, the height. See that right there? Mm-hmm. I don't think you're videoing, are you? Oh, you are, okay. But you can see just that little bit changed. See that? The height of the hair that had already been cut. So that's why I feel like you really have to kind of take the time and really go over the top. See that right there? You can see that difference. And that's over the same hairs that earlier were just about right. But that's because you're making sure that with this top, he can comb this, brush it however he wants, and it will lay perfectly for him. And that's my main goal when I do this is, you know, see that? Do you see that's here? See that big bulge of height difference? That's because we did the front. And this is the cleanup, see there? On the sides from where we've touched the grains this way and which changed the heights this way. So it's all kind of in conjunction together, see there? So you have to come back through this and clean it up. And there may be a different method of doing this. I just found this was the better option for him for how his hair is, to do it this way, which is side to side, front back, and then side to side again. And see that? You can see when I do this comb over it, see that? That wasn't there before. And that's because when I did the front and back, it changed the height of some of the hair. And so you really have to come in, you have to be willing to take the time to do this right, but it will be ultimately worth it in the end. See that? Everything changed height. And so you have to really come in, see that? It's not much on some of these other ones, but you can see it's subtly there. And that's something that when he's combing or he's brushing or however your specific guy does it, it can impact how to, see here, short and long. So we need to get all that to match. See that? Now see how it's starting to lay just a little bit better right here? It's because you're taking the time to clean up that little bit. And it makes a difference. See, now it's starting, see how that? It's just a few in there that have that height difference now. There's a hair there. Okay. Okay, now see here? Now if I comb it like this, see how it's laying now? That's a perfect lay to the hair now. So now he can come in here, he can comb it one way or the other. And see here, if I start doing this, let me lift up his head just a little bit. He fell asleep on us. That tells you how much he trusts me. And the head fell down again. Okay, now if you come over here and look at this from this perspective. So see here, if I comb in like this to the side, see how that's laying so beautifully now? And it's because I took it, and see it's got this nice little fan going on here, not too thick, not too thin, but it just really allows that really nice wave to his hair because I took the time to go side to side, forward and back. Now see here, because we did the front and back, but we were on this side, I need to clean up. See here, we've got this little bit that just needs a subtle cleanup, but that's an easy fix. So you just come in here, again, see the height difference there? And it's just a matter of cleaning that up. It's taking the time to be willing to do the cleanup. See there? I see he doesn't like those funky stick outs. So I always like to come in here, see that? And do that little bit of cleanup for him so that when he's waking up, because he falls asleep every time I do this, that tells you just how much he trusts me, which is so flattering. But see here, I can comb this beautifully to the side now, and it's giving this nice layering is the best way to put it. It's a layering for a guy's hair. You just come in. Now, another thing I like to do is I always like to, once I brush it one way, is I always brush it the other way too, because I want to make sure it's reflecting a balanced cut. So if he wants to go left, he wants to go right, or he wants to go back, it's going to work for him. And see here, he still has that nice layering effect because we took the time to do it. Now see here, that's another reason why you do it, is you check those final pieces that maybe you didn't get with the other pieces, but you can just see it subtly there that it needs that little bit of cleanup. And that's why you do it. You brush constantly, or in my case, comb, side to side, back to back. Now see here, he still has that beautiful layering, but look, he still has a thick amount of hair here that, you know, you can run your hands through, which my mom loves. But it's just a question of, does he want right or left? Because, or even just straight back now, it'll work. So I think he typically likes it this way. But you can see, I mean, it'll work now. Either way he goes. Let me see here. And he's done. Okay, so we're gonna do that last bit of cleanup now that the hair on the head is all taken care of. And I like to just come around and clean him up. Just those few little bits that I can't really get under the cover here. You can see that. I mean, I pretty much got it done now. See that? Now, the one thing I do love to do that he absolutely loves at this point, and truthfully, it was an indulgence for me to do this, but he loves it, so I can't resist doing it to him, which is, I got this. And what it is it's specifically designed for when you do a guy's hair, but he likes it when I do this. Oh. And it allows me to get that last little bit of hair
face.
that's maybe gotten stuck from, you know, that wasn't under the apron here, and it gets it off of him.
It's in my face.
And he loves it. And it's extremely soft. I mean, it's very soft. I even like just doing this because it's so soft. But it just allows me to get those few hairs that fell down on the neck underneath this, and he loves it. So it was an indulgence to buy this little accessory. And then of course, the one thing I do also, once I do all that, is I clean all my tools, and then I use this Marvicide spray. I actually bought this for my Split Ender Pro that me and Mom used, and I went, well, actually this is designed to keep this tool sanitary in between uses, so I figure I use this on all of this stuff after I use it when I do his hair, and it makes sure that we don't have to worry about any bacteria or fungus that may have been in the hair or that could potentially accumulate from the oils that naturally occur in the hair on the tools. And so this really helps keep it clean. So I spent a little bit of money and bought a couple bottles of this just to keep everything in good working order.
She keeps it sanitary because I'm the only head she cuts.
That's true.
So
You're a high demand
she
person.
thinks I'm scared of myself.
And you can tell we have a lot of fun doing this. And this is right here is the oil that I bought to keep my clippers that I use that for that initial stage in good working order. And it just takes a couple drops. You spread it with your finger, and it just keeps the blades well lubricated and sharp so that it really maintains, because it does no good to spend that kind of money on a tool and then you not be able to, you know, use it because you didn't take care of it, and then it breaks down, then you're having to worry about replacing it. So I did buy this, and you can it extends the life of the blades. So even though it is a ceramic blade designed to have a long life, you still got to take care of it. And that's it, Mommy. Oh, and I did get this. Are you still filming? I did also get this, and I love this thing. It is an ocular air sprayer, but it's rechargeable. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's rechargeable. And so what I do is I take this out, and I actually use this to brush all the hair out of my tools. It's awesome. See here? And it stays running, or you can just hold it and it runs. So double click and it stays on, so you don't have to keep holding the button and air spraying. And then that's pretty much what I do with all this. Clean all the tools, spray it with the Marvicide. You let it sit for about 10 minutes before you reassemble everything, and then you make sure you put just a little bit of lubrication on your blade. You're good to go. Okay. What do you think, Mom?